Beer O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Brewdog and it's their OG Hazy. It's a New England IPA coming in at 7.2% ABV in a 440 milliliter can. What do we have down the side? Embrace the Opaque. Brewdog rebrand. I quite like the way it's standing up again. Beer was never to be aged. Their old branding was written down the side, which I mean that suggests that you would lay the beer down and you'd age it. You don't age hoppy beers, so why they went with that branding in the first place? Oh, they still have it on the side. I prefer that. I prefer that to their older branding, I will say. I've got to be honest, I quite like that. Some people have called it boring. Yeah, I quite like the subtle kind of big name. You see it from a mile off. Let's grab a Brewdog beer. Let's get it out into a glass, see what we get. 7.2% ABV, New England IPA. So New England IPAs, before I pour this out, should be really hazy. So I'm expecting like a cloudy, kind of lightish, yellowy kind of coloured beer. And fair play to Brewdog, they've delivered on that. They have delivered on that. We got a 4-finger liquid, and then we got a 3-finger white head. It is indeed light straw coloured, yellowish, hazy, good carbonation. It's looking good. I've got a smile on my face. It's looking good. Let's get the aroma on the beer. That is much more like it. Much more like it. The reason why I'm saying much more like it, this is the last of 3 beers that I've reviewed. They're new beers from Brewdog. They were released into Tesco. The large Tesco extra stores. We had the Brewdog versus Modern Times, a West Coast IPA, the Brewdog Pale Ale. Please go and take a look at the reviews, have a look at the videos if you like, if you missed them. It's March 2020. The beers have been released a few days into Tesco Extra. We were straight out there picking them up. This smells quite promising, to be honest. This has got a lovely light grapefruit, pineapple, a nice kind of pungent bouquet type aroma. Maybe some mango. Let's dive in. Cheers. It's a lot more like it. A lot more like it. I'm not going to start jumping around the kitchen. Stone the crows, stone the crows. Not. It's not enough for that, but it's nice, and I think I would pay £3 for it. I think I would pay £3 for this beer, which, I mean, yeah, it's a £3 beer. It's quite well constructed, if I'm perfectly honest. It looks good. It looks like a New England IPA. It's got a nice tight head to it. Quite a nice aroma. Some mango, grapefruit, pineapple, fleshy blood orange, some passion fruit. Yeah, it's... The more I drink it, the more I like it. I went into this beer review. I tried to reset myself. I don't know if you've seen the other two beers. They were diabolical, absolutely diabolical. And I just needed a few minutes to try and reset. I was so disappointed that like my whole evening had been ruined because I went out to Tesco. I bought these beers. I'll show you the beers. Well, I'll show you the can. This was just unbelievably bad. Really bad example of a beer. There was nothing to it, just a malt bomb. They were trying to call it pale ale. And then this future-proof West Coast IPA, Brewdog versus Modern Times, was not much better. It wasn't much better. And I was like, I've just travelled all this way for this beer. Culver for me is about a 6 mile round trip. But I just went for the beer. It wasn't as if like I needed shopping. And I wanted it today. I wasn't going to do no online stuff. I wanted to do it today. They didn't have the stout. I really wanted the stout, but they didn't have the stout. I'll get that again. But I've never been, in all the years I've been reviewing beer on YouTube, I've never been so downbeat. I've never been so like, what has happened to this brewery and why have they chosen to ruin my night? Because they're the beers I've chosen to drink. I'm not going to drink the Future Proof. I'm not going to drink the pale ale. So what do I open more beer after spending £3 a can? Do I open more beer? I wanted to get them out onto YouTube. This is I'm trying to be upbeat. I am upbeat about this beer. This is a good beer. It's not great. It's not the best New England IPA I've ever had. But it's not the worst. It's not the worst. It's like an in-between kind of New England IPA. It's got a kind of quite a thin body for 7.2% ABV, but I don't mind that. I want something refreshing and drinkable, so I'm okay with that. There's some grapefruit, mango, citrus, some passion fruit, and then there's it's that Brewdog kind of weird kind of, it must be the yeast or the water. It's just, you know, it's a Brewdog beer. You know from like a mile away it's a Brewdog beer. If you've drunk Brewdog beer before, it's got that certain kind of like big regional brewery beer about it. They're a massive company now, Brewdog, an absolutely massive company with breweries and bars and airlines, and they lost their focus in 2018. They kind of regained it in 2019. They started to produce really good beers again. But the start of 2020 has been... I'm starting to wonder if the whole pack of cards is just going to fall down. If they're going to become some kind of weird kind of laughing stock now, because it's just not good. They're not in a good way. They had a massive load of stick for the rebrand. I'm not going to give them stick over the rebrand. I actually think it's improved over the last rebrand. The first labels I still think were the best. They were kind of punchy and funky and out there, and what the story that Brewdog told. Can you believe this company once drove tanks down the main road shouting and screaming how punk they are? Can you believe that actually happened? They're a million miles away from that company now. A million miles. They're like this like horrible corporate beast of a company now that you love to hate. I'm not. This beer is. It's okay. It's okay. It's not. It's not blowing my mind. It's not blowing my mind, but it's not the worst New England IPA I've ever tried. I think, I honestly think it's just time that I maybe just stop recording this review now. Give it a rating. Everything's so small. Look at the text. It's like, is it any information? Is it any? Are they trying to hide the fact that they don't put hops in their beer anymore? And they've just made it as small as possible. It's diabolical. Malted oats, torrefied wheat, but the text is so small. People are interested in this stuff. They want to read about the oats and the malts and the hops, and that's why they got into beer in the first place. And Brewdog have made it near impossible for a middle-aged man. I'm squinting, trying to read the label. It's like, I watched that program on the BBC years ago, and when he tried to do a handbrake turn in his golf and he got it all wrong, and he didn't even do a handbrake turn. He just did this like half-hearted whimperish. He was on national television, and he tried to do a handbrake turn in his golf and he got it all wrong. And I was like, who is this guy? Who is this man? He's trying to be like, I don't know, maybe he was bullied in school or something. Maybe he is the man today because he was bullied in school. I don't know. It's like watching a geek trying to do a handbrake turn. It's like in his golf. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's about time they got their chief executives to drive tanks down the road. Should we ask maybe the people at Molson Coors or somebody massive, maybe Heineken, maybe they're investors, massive investors. Should we ask them to jump in their tanks and drive down the main street of London or wherever? I don't know. I can see this being a 3-part series anyway, of my absolute disappointment of Brewdog. This has been okay. I'm gonna rate it. It's a. Then saying that, there's this horrible like, it's like you've sprayed. Do you know when you sometimes spray your armpits with Lynx or whatever, or right guard, and then you go and you get it across your tongue by accident. Not that you're spraying it. When you're a kid, like, you get it on your tongue by accident. It's a bit like you got hairspray in your mouth. I don't know, it's a 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. So as for the new beers that have launched into Tesco, I may not bother now. I was really excited to go and get the Evil Twin Imperial Stout. So Brewdog versus Evil Twin. I was quite excited to go and get that beer, but I honestly don't think I'm going to even bother to do that now. I think I could do without it. I've spent enough money. I mean, that was £3, that's £6. This was £2, that's £8. £8 on 3 beers. That I've had better beer in Home Bargains for £1 a bottle. I really have. So that would be £3. I've had much better beer in Home Bargains. That is Home Bargains beer sold for £3 a can. Thanks for watching. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.